Hello, it's Courtney with balancewithcourtney.com. I am passionate about helping others discover their happy and inspire them to make it a daily habit. My intention is to hack happy by interviewing experts to share their story, to inspire others and create a happy movement. Today's happy expert is Pua Pakele and Cabot. Pua is the co-founder of BLE Digital, a digital media and business coaching company. With her adventurous spirit, curious mind, and renewed thirst for learning and personal improvement, Pua embarked upon a journey of diverse educational and vocational experiences. As an entrepreneur at heart, Pua now joyously uses her passion for uplifting our global community to help people step out of their comfort zones and serve at the highest potential and achieve personal and professional lives they'd never thought were possible. Woo! And I am a perfect example of that, everyone. Hello, Pua.
Hi.
Good to see you, sweetheart.
Good to see you too. I'm so excited.
Yes. So Pua, I am so excited to have you and telling everyone that Pua and Kimmy are my business coaches. So I truly embody their beautiful gift. And so I'm so excited to share you with everyone else.
Thank you. And can I just say, you are just like, when the moment I met you, I was like, this girl's going places. And you just, you dive in with 2 feet. Like, you are such a beautiful example of exactly the kind of adventurous, action-taking spirit that we just want everybody to embody and just, 2 feet in and just follow your heart's calling, because it's so, you've done it in such a beautiful, inspiring way. And just knowing you through this program, you inspire us every single day. So thank you for all of your energy and for just doing what you do and sharing with the world. It's so beautiful to watch.
Thank you so much. And thank you for creating such an amazing tribe that supports me through it all.
Of course.
Thank you. Thank you. All righty, hun. Would you share your story of how you found your happy?
You bet. I love that question. It's not a question that people ask enough, I think. And it's so important. I think your mission here to share happy and to make happy a thing that people are aware of, right? Because I think that's missing sometimes. Yeah. And finding my happy is always a journey. It's always an ongoing practice. But it's something that is so natural. And I think inside all of us, we crave happiness. We crave joy. We crave ease. And when we feel it and we find it, it's so important to be aware of it so that you can create more of it. And this is, something that I think I'm still sinking into and kind of learning. But today I'm really happy to share that I have found my happy and I experience it every day. And I don't think that there was a moment or a day or an experience where I was like, oh, okay, I get it. This is what makes me happy. It's a process. It's just all part of it. And for a long time, I now recognize that I wasn't very happy, which is also kind of the other side of this. But I was very successful, right? So the part of this is, I think, coming out of a college prep school where I was very social and I felt very free and I was very happy. Academically, I was not performing up to par. So that was my first experience in the world of like, it doesn't matter what lights you up. If you aren't performing well, if you aren't providing the results that we're looking for, you aren't being a good example of the way that we want you to be a human and a person in this community, right? So I just remember I loved spending time with my friends. I loved to just chit chat and hang out and kind of follow my heart, so to speak. Maybe I would go to class, maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I would do my homework, maybe I wouldn't. And when I wouldn't, which was most of the time, right? I was reprimanded. I was scolded. I was given demerits, they would call it. And then
Hold on, guys. I think we lost her for just a little bit.
So it was the first time that I was kind of quieted down, right?
Yes.
And so after that, you know, you go to college and there was more of that. There was more like, I was like, oh, this is so fun. I'm meeting so many great people. School doesn't really light me up, but I'm going to do my best here. And so in college, I actually did great in school. I was like a 3 point something GPA, and like, who cares, right? That doesn't matter now. But back then I was like, well, you know, I'm not having that much fun, but I'm studying hard and I'm getting good grades. And it was kind of from there that it snowballed, right? I went into to the workforce. I got all of these different jobs. I was dabbling, trying to figure out time. I start to work and spend most of the hours of the day
She should be
in an office at a desk on that time, and it was very dark. But I was making a lot of money, which seemed to be the only thing that mattered. And my parents were very proud of me because I had all of these great positions and I was growing in whatever jobs I was in. And it wasn't until about 5, 6, 7 years ago that it's actually when I met Kimi and I joined the gym that we met at, and I realized that there was another part of this. I could follow the things that excited me. I could work with people and be social and help people and create communities where people who cared about the same things that I did could meet and uplift each other.
Yes.
Outside of a traditional career path.
Yes.
So, and it was only at that moment where I was able to kind of look at what I was doing at the time and realize that it wasn't fulfilling me. It wasn't lighting me up. And it was keeping me quiet, and it was keeping me very small. And so I think sometimes we don't give ourselves the quiet space to even reflect on whether or not we are living in our happiness and following our happiness, following our joy. I sure didn't.
Right.
So I know that was a very roundabout answer to your question.
No, gosh, not at all. There's no right or wrong answer. I love it. Yes. Yeah. And what hearing your story makes me think that you spent most of your life defining the word happy by what other people tell you it is. So as long as people thought you were successful, you had friends, you had money, you had a job, then you're supposed to be happy. So you would ignore all the signs you were getting that I don't feel good about myself. It doesn't feel good here. I'm not having fun. I don't feel free. And until you really checked into that, all of a sudden everything else didn't matter. The only thing that mattered was the feeling you had inside.
Absolutely. And I think that the feelings that we shove down, that kind of misalignment, it manifests. It manifests in all sorts of ways. It's like the universe screams at us.
Yeah.
It's like you need to listen to your own heart. Like just take a break. And that's why we get sick. That's why we experience things in our lives that force us to slow down, right?
Yes.
And even then, we're very good at ignoring the signs.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, I mean, it is something that I think some of us have to go through because it provides contrast.
Yes. I think we lost her again. She's coming back here.
Idea, decided to quit. I going to quit and do something awesome, but I just didn't even have any inkling that it would be this fulfilling and I would feel this good doing what we're doing now. So that's the other part, right? We just don't even know.
No, it's like jumping in and not knowing where you were landing.
For sure.
And scariest thing you will ever do, most fulfilling.
I completely agree.
Yes. Ah, beautiful, honey. So will you define what happiness means to you?
I will. And I think for me, that's really challenging to put into words because it's a feeling to me more than it is something that I can easily describe, but I'll try. To me, happiness feels light.
Mm.
It's just, it's both like visible light, but also just the feeling of lightness and the feeling of being able to listen, I think, is so important. And it's listening to others, but it's also listening to yourself. And that's where I always find my happy is, just follow what feels light, follow what feels good, and listen to the answers that you give yourself. When you find yourself justifying things, like it from something as simple as, do I want to go to this event or this thing? And you know that you don't, right? But if you go anyway, there's that feeling of obligation, maybe there's guilt, and it feels heavy, right? And if you do want to go, like, it's exciting, it's light, the answer is, it's an easy decision. So honestly, like that's really how I sink into it, and that's how I define it, is just that weightlessness and joy.
Yes. Yes.
It's so weird. I can't put it into words any better than that, but it's a feeling.
No, that was beautiful. And I believe we all have an internal clock or an internal yes or no. And the more we actually ask ourselves the question, do I want to do this or don't I want to do this? You will feel the difference between no and yes, and follow your yes every time. Hey.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, it keeps going in and out on your side.
Oh,
so
no.
I just smile and I pause and I know you're coming back.
I hope the recording is only catching the good stuff.
Oh, we're getting tons, so you don't worry about it. You just keep talking.
Okay.
All righty. So how do you maintain your happy and make it a daily habit? Now that you know how it feels, you love it, how do you maintain it?
It's a great question. And I think every day we're tested, right? And I feel like it's almost like a muscle, right? You go to the gym, maybe you lift some weights, and every time you go, you get a little bit stronger, and you can almost quantify it, right? And so today for one, the most important thing and the most impactful thing that I've ever experienced in terms of sinking into my happy, following my happy, is community. Being around people who get it and who also create happiness for themselves every day. And I just can't stop thinking about Mark Harmon's interview with us about how to human. You said it yourself, right? We are all born with that innate ability to listen to our intuition, which is so smart, and it's so easy. It's so easy. All we have to do is listen and stop fighting it and stop justifying it. So, really just practicing being quiet with myself, and that, like, I have a really hard time with that. And someone once said, we were on an interview and we were talking about watching a movie or something like that. And I was like, I have a hard time sitting down and relaxing. I'm on my phone, or like I'm reading a book, or I'm drawing something, or I can't just relax. And the person was like, that's an intimacy issue. And you have, right? And it's true.
Yeah.
Like, I can't sit quietly with myself, or I couldn't. So that is a practice that helps me, again, to stay in alignment and just to stay present and aware. Because I think where we end up kind of slipping also is when we're just kind of running by default and letting things happen to us and not planning and not giving ourselves that quiet time or that white space to, even if it's to create, right? If you're doing something, but it's for you.
Right.
Right. And releasing the guilt.
Yes.
If it's for us, we tend to let ourselves feel guilty that we're not doing something productive. We're not doing something for someone else. We're not doing something for our family, for our business, for our kids. It's like, the shift that I hope every human can make is that when they're quiet and able to do things for themselves, they serve better. They serve at a higher level because they are not only setting a beautiful example for everyone in their lives to do the same, but their cup is full.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It feels very backwards, and I don't know why, because it shouldn't, but it does.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, again, long-winded answer. Sorry.
No, gosh, stop apologizing. Oh, you're giving us some good stuff. And can we go back to the intimacy?
Yes.
I call it multitasking, but always doing two things. You're never just sitting and totally embracing one. So in my world, that's what I call it when I talk about what happens with me. I tend to do many things because what that does is it puts out that I'm not available. So I am an empath. We've talked about this before. And so I find myself creating all these barriers around my energy so I don't get exhausted. So when you put your headphones in, or you're on your phone, or you're doing laundry while you're watching TV, you're telling everyone around you you're not available, so don't approach me. This is me time. Right? And we feel we need to give all those barriers instead of just saying, hey, I'm watching a movie. I just want to be with the movie right now. Do you resonate with that at all?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And it's,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
We take care of ourselves. We really do. But what happens is we find ways that are socially acceptable to take care of ourselves. So the word I'm too busy is socially acceptable, right? I'm too busy. I got to do this and this and this. So people don't approach you. Or you're at the gym, you put on your headphones, you do all these things so people don't approach you because that's socially acceptable.
Absolutely.
Isn't that crazy?
Absolutely.
Instead of just using your voice and saying, hey, it's not a good time for me. I'm just being with me today.
Totally. You're so good at that, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I love that you set that example. Yeah. And the person who told me that was, they were referring to intimacy with myself, right? Like I can't even be quiet with my own thoughts. And that's a huge issue, right? Let alone being able and available or unavailable to others. And I love that you pointed that out. Like we like to have that busy competition with people. Oh, how was your weekend? Oh, it was so busy. How are you doing? I'm so busy. This, that, blah, blah, blah. You want to get together? Oh, I would love to, but I'm so busy. Right?
Yes.
Why is that the socially acceptable answer?
I know. It is our way of checking out without being rude. We think it's not rude because everyone does it. And nowadays we're at dinner, and we're going to get totally off topic here, but we're at dinner and we're on our phones, and now that's socially acceptable. These things are not okay. They're getting us so far from just speaking our truth.
For sure. And talk about happy. I mean, what Kimi and I will often infuse into the things that we teach is technology. So we love technology, right? It's such a powerful time that we live in. We are so connected. It's so easy to reach people all over the planet because of technology.
Yeah.
If you're able to create a kind of routine and rituals and processes where the technology works for you, but you remain in control. It is so easy for the tech to be in control these days. That's what it's designed for. That's why every app has notifications. The app wants to be used. They've designed it for you to use it and to remind you that it's there constantly.
Yes.
It's up to us to turn those off and use it when we need it, not when it needs us.
Yes.
Down to text messages. Like, and I take this way too far. I am the worst at texting. I will not text someone. I'll read the text and I'll say, okay, I'll respond in a little bit, and I just forget, or I don't get back to it. And that's a problem in itself. But I mean, why does communication have to be so instant these days? Yeah. Right? The other thing is with social media, with even technology, email, all of these things, there's so much unrealistic comparison that is built into all of these channels. And it takes us from a place of, it's like, it's fabricated happiness, and it buries, like, right below the surface of that like surface level happiness is so much judgment, so much depression, so much guilt, so much shame. And it's so destructive that we are on this mission to teach people how to create not only a schedule for social media and how to do that for your business and all of that, but also healthy mindsets and healthy practices to remind yourself constantly that life happens outside of your cell phone. Life happens outside of social media. Life happens with people. You and I are connecting right now over Zoom.
Yes.
I'm looking at a computer screen.
Yes.
But this is very authentic. This is real.
Right.
It's so different from looking at a photoshopped photo of you on Facebook saying, oh my God, Courtney's life is so perfect. I'm so jealous. I wish I was her.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And, we are intentionally setting up this appointment versus we could be chatting over text. And every time your text comes in, no matter if my kid is there or my wife's there, I'm like, oh, I got to answer her. And I'm interrupting everyone else's time with me. Yeah.
Talk about multitasking, right?
Yes. It's all about establishing boundaries. We have to establish boundaries even with social media.
For sure. Especially with social media.
Exactly. And, we were talking about that whole being available thing. So we multitask, yet we, for some reason, think we need to be completely available for social media 24/7. Yeah. It's like an email is okay to pause and not respond for a while, but a text, we have to respond right away.
Right.
Yeah.
Even email these days. It's crazy. We used to do corporate productivity coaching, and we'd go in and we'd say one of the biggest productivity snags is being in your email all day long. So we'd coach them to create email, you saw this in B2B, right? Email schedules. So training the people who are emailing you that you are only available to read and respond to your email a couple of times a day, which should be fine, as you said. And people were not okay with it. They're like, I can't do that. I need to be available. People email me with emergencies all the time. And that to me is just so, it's like you're living in a virtual cage.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Right? And you're in emergency mode all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Yeah. And just think what that does with your anxiety and your adrenals and on and on. Yeah.
Totally.
Just, So perfect segue here. When you are not feeling your happy self, when you're having a tougher day, how do you get back into alignment?
Great question. I wear my emotions on my sleeves. And for me, I embody my own emotions so much that coming out of an unhappy or emotionally charged state is really difficult for me. I almost enjoy, it's almost kind of masochistic. Is that the right word to use here?
Yeah.
I kind of enjoy sitting in my shit a little bit. Am I allowed to swear?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything goes.
Okay, perfect.
Just keep your clothes on.
You got it. So it's weird. When I am in a bad mood, I'll sit in it. Sit in it for a while. And I know that is not serving me. But I haven't quite figured out the best way to shift quickly. And I'm learning that that's okay.
Yeah.
That's just the way that I process. So for me, I just like to feel. So I'll feel it. I'll sit in it for a little while. And honestly, I am a big believer in tomorrow's a new day. And, if something happens early in the day and I have stuff going on that I need to be present and available for, I will kind of meditate through it. And it is just to get through the day, right? So for me, it's very difficult to show up my full happy self in those moments. I know some people can shift real quick, or they can be like, okay, we got to do this. Let's go. It's just not the way I roll. So I do want to throw that out there because I hope that people can resonate with that and also know that that's okay, as long as it's not chronic and as long as it's not like multiple days in a row, because I think that's when it starts to kind of, there's something deeper there.
Yes.
Right. That's where there's different things need to be worked through. But yeah, I like to wake up. And every day that I wake up and I feel gratitude, and I feel that I've been able to kind of breathe through whatever was going on and let it go. I'll journal it out. Writing for me, my journal is full of like, I feel like it's just a book of shifting because I'll start in one mindset and I'll finish in another. So that to me, and I do that in the mornings. So yeah, that's kind of how I do it.
You know, I find I feel what you're saying completely. And I have learned to just accept it and give myself as much time as my body needs. And that alone helps me get through it faster. Because if we're fighting the emotion that needs to be living for some reason within us, it makes everyone around us miserable and it makes us miserable.
For sure. And it comes out in ways that we don't like.
Yes.
When we stuff it down.
Well, you don't even recognize that person.
Totally.
But the thing is it's there for a reason, and we have to feel it. We have to let it go when it's ready to go. It's for sure. We have no control of the timing.
For sure.
Yeah. So thank you for saying that, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, you can just put on your happy face and you're fine. But not everyone's like that. And even if they can do that, it's not authentic.
Totally.
You know?
Totally.
They're just showing up because they have to.
For sure. For sure. And there's like, I feel like there are exceptions, right? If you have a presentation for thousands of people who have bought a ticket, and you kind of got to just kind of dig deep and show up.
Right.
But that's like not every day. And if you're doing that every day, if you're digging deep and showing up every single day because you feel like that's the way to do it, that's when we have to, again, give ourselves the quiet time and say, is this working? What can I do and what questions can I ask? Who can I reach out to? Is there support? Is there a community that I can be a part of if I am unsure about what's going on, if I'm unsure about how to work through this? Because that's what I think so many people are doing alone. And I have to say, everything that I've ever learned about alignment, connection, listening to myself, journaling, gratitude, everything that I've learned and everything that I practice is a result of someone else's teaching. Someone shared something. I'm part of a community of some sort. We're not meant to go through these things alone.
No, not at all. Not at all. Oh, hon, this was so good. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Before we go, will you speak to others out there that are struggling to find their happy? Give them one more piece of advice, some inspiration.
For sure. And I think, for one, if you are listening to this and you are saying, I can't wait to hear this because this is me, I'm struggling to find my happy, I just want to acknowledge you and congratulate you for having the awareness to even know that that's the place that you're in.
Oh, that's
a big step, right? Again, it's so easy to just go through life thinking that this is how we're supposed to be doing things and not acknowledging that there's something bigger and brighter and better right around the corner for you if you are giving yourself the opportunity to search for it. So first of all, like, congratulations. Welcome to this beautiful community. You are in great hands. And honestly, like, that to me is the step. That's it. Acknowledge and just create the awareness that you're ready for more, that you're excited to create this beautiful life for yourself, and know that if you're watching this, you're in the right place. You are supported. You are loved. And everybody here is here to support you and help you and guide you and be on this journey with you.
Amen, sister. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Will you tell our fans how they can reach out to you?
For sure. Yeah. So I think you guys probably will have already heard Kimi's interview by now. Okay, perfect. So Kimi Morton is my business partner, and she also did an interview. So we share a business called BLE Digital, and you can learn all about us and contact us at bledigital.com. And we love to get emails, and we will respond. If you guys are interested in reaching out to us individually, you can reach us at hello@bledigital.com. And on social media, of course, if you are excited about social media, at Broke Ass to Badass is actually our Instagram handle, which is also the name of our course. And just like everything that we do, it's all Broke Ass to Badass all day long. Yeah, I think that's it. We're on Facebook. Just search us, BLE Digital, and you can find each of us individually there too. So
perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
You're welcome. Thank you for taking your time for us and for your growth. I hope you discover new habits to support your happiness. Please reach out with questions, or if you need more support, in our Happy Balance Facebook group or at balancewithcourtney.com. Thank you, Pua.
You're welcome. Thank you.